What's up guys, Alex from FIFA Scouting Tips here, and welcome to the first episode of my first career mode in FIFA 19. Now I decided to go with 1860 München because I asked you guys on Twitter and Facebook for suggestions for a FIFA 19 career mode team, and this was definitely the most popular suggestion. It's a really good suggestion as well because they have really fallen in recent years. They've got relegated twice in a couple of years and they are now in the 3rd division in Germany. I've named my manager Max Merkel because he was the manager back in 1966 when they won their only Bundesliga title, so it's kind of a tribute to him, I guess. See if I can replicate some of that success. So what we're going to be doing in this career mode, basically this is going to be a youth only career mode. So I'm going to be only signing scouted players and regens on other teams. I'm not going to be signing any real players at all, just to focus on the youth academy. I want to keep it realistic as well, so I'm only going to be scouting Germany, maybe Italy, Switzerland, Austria, local countries like that. Nothing like sending a scout to Brazil, which a 3rd division German team would not be doing in real life. So we're going to be keeping it as realistic as possible. So before we get started, let's have a look at the board expectations. So handily, with a youth only career mode, youth development is critical for the board, so they want us to sign 2 players in the youth academy assigned to the defender position in the short term. In the long term, within 3 seasons, grow 8 youth academy players by at least 10 overall points. As soon as they have grown, play them in 20 matches, either as part of the starting 11 or as coming on as a sub. So that's a fairly challenging one, but that's what we're going to be doing anyway, so that fits our targets perfectly. For brand exposure, sell out at least 90% attendance, at least 50% of home league games this season. We don't have any continental success objectives, which is good. We're not going to be qualifying for European football anyway, so there's no point worrying about that. Domestic success, this is high. They want us to finish in mid-table in the league and within 2 seasons to fight for promotion. So that doesn't mean we actually have to get promoted, we just have to fight for promotion. So that's fair enough. I think that's not too challenging. Hopefully we'll see, I guess. And then financial objectives are low. Keep player salary growth under 30%. Seeing as I'm going to be signing youth players whose salaries are already going to be low anyway, that should be fairly achievable. So those are the board expectations. So let's take a look at the team that we have got. Unfortunately, it's not the best team I've ever seen. None of these players are particularly standout. Our best player is Grimaldi, our striker. Very strong player, but he's not going to be growing any more than that. He's already 27, so he's pretty much hit his peak. We have a couple of other decent players like Mol in central midfield. Our best young player is Lorenz, 64 rated at 21, but he is in on loan, so he's going to be going at the end of the season, so we're going to have to find a replacement for him. So as you can see, it's not an amazing team. They're all pretty average, around the mid to low 60s, so we're going to have to be overhauling that completely with youth players as soon as we can, really. We're going to be selling a few of those players as well. Some of them are retiring, like Molders, he's retiring at the end of the season. Some of their contracts are expiring, so these are all things that we need to sort out to work out who we want to keep and who we are going to offload. Now if we have a look at the training screen, this is a good way to work out who are your most promising players, and unfortunately with this team it is pretty depressing to look at because as you can see as I scroll through here, there is no one with the little icon that indicates that they are high potential. So we do not have any really promising players at all in the team. So this is going to have to be something which we really focus on. I'm not going to be using anything like FIFA, any websites like that to look up player potentials. I'm only going to be relying on things like the training screen or my scouts reports, that kind of thing, to work out who are high potential players. Make it a bit more challenging, so I don't know who to go for really. I don't just look them up on a website and easily find some really promising players. I've got to work a bit harder to do it, and also it encourages me to rely on scouted players as well. So that's a look at who our promising players are. Now what I usually do with the first episode of my career modes is it's just an introduction. I show you who the players are, what the team's like, what we're going to be doing. So one of the things, as I said, we're going to be doing is scouting, so let's send out our first scout. Now what I want, we've got £2.9 million in our budget. I want to get the best scout I can, and that is Jürgen Damerer, this guy here. 5 stars in experience, which means that he's going to be finding a larger number of players and also better able to find the type of players that I ask him to look for, which it doesn't actually say on the screen there, but that's what experience does. And as well as that, 4 stars in judgment, so he's going to be finding better quality players. Now this is exactly what you need in a youth-only career mode, but he is expensive. He's £2.4 million, our budget is £2.9 million, so he's basically taking up the vast majority of our budget. However, I do think it's worth it because this is what we need to be doing. We need to be finding high quality players that we can boost our team with. As well as that, we're going to be selling some players, so we should make back a bit of money after that. So yes, I'm going to be hiring this guy, and first of all, I'm going to send him just to Germany. I'm going to be looking for any type of player because we just, as you saw before, our team is pretty weak. We just need to overhaul basically the entire thing. So I'm going to be sending him out for, I think, 6 months. 9 months is probably a bit too expensive. That we only have about £500,000 left in the budget, and I need to be able to afford to actually sign players to the youth academy as well because that costs money. So let's could be 3 months, but I don't think that's going to be quite enough. We need quite a few players, so let's go for 6 months. Let's take the gamble and do that. So he's going to be on his way. He's going to be reporting back in a month's time. So that's what that's a short introduction to the career. I'm going to skip ahead now to the end of the season so you can see the players that we found and signed into the youth academy and players we sold, that kind of thing, and you can see the situation that we're in at the end of the season. Okay, we've reached the end of the season and we actually did pretty well. Let's have a look at the league table. We finished in 3rd place. Now I just simmed through all the games. I just basically used the calendar to advance through the year, stopped every month or so to see the scout report and sign some players to the academy, but I didn't play any games, so that's pretty good considering our board wanted us to finish in mid-table. We actually were leading the league for quite a while in the season, but then kind of faltered near the end. But unfortunately we didn't get promoted because the way it works in Germany is if you come in 3rd place in the 3rd division, you play a playoff against one of the relegation candidates in the 2nd division. So we played this team and unfortunately we lost 4-1 on aggregate, so we didn't get promoted, but that's maybe not a bad thing because it means that we can play our youth players in a more forgiving division next season, give them more game time, help them develop a bit better perhaps. So I'll just show you quickly the players that we sold in our team to bring in a bit more cash. We also loaned out some youth players, but we sold quite a lot of real players that we didn't really need anymore, and that helped us bring in a fair amount of money that we could then spend on youth assignments to scout players. So let's have a look at some of the players that we brought in for our youth academy and then promoted to the first team. So we have this goalkeeper Albert Neumann, 57 rated, grown 3 ratings. We loaned him out to get him some game time, and let's take a look at his attributes. So he's not too shabby, 57 rated, 18 years old. In this division, that's not bad. We then have Frank Bauer, sorry, can't even say his name properly. He's rated 62 now, showing great potential, age 17, so he's looking really good. He is pretty much going to be our main goalkeeper next season. We have Hiller, but I think we will be playing Bauer more to get him more game time, to get him to grow. Let's have a quick look at his attributes. So again, not a bad goalkeeper, kicking has grown loads, which is good. So moving on to the next youth player, we have Würzburger in Austria. Like I said at the start, I was going to try and keep it realistic with my scouting, so I scouted in Austria as well as Germany. He's 60 rated at 17 years old, showing great potential, so he's got at least 80 potential, 80 to 85 potential. As well as that, let's have a look at his stats. So he was a physically strong player, so he's got very decent physical stats there, and he is going to be a really decent centre-back. Unfortunately he's 5'10", which isn't amazing, but hopefully his jumping grows, so it kind of makes up for that. Then we have Engel, 63 rated, 16-year-old. He is 6'4", so he is a much taller centre-back than Würzburger, has potential to be special. So that means he has potential of 91 or higher, so he is going to be awesome. Unfortunately, he's injured at the moment, but he's going to bounce straight back and be a really important player in the future. Another physically strong player, 77 strength, 81 jumping. Really looking forward to seeing him in action. Quick look at his technical stats there as well. So next youth player we have is Gruner. He is rated 66, another one with has potential to be special. 18 years old, defensive midfielder. Gonna be the core of the midfield for us, I think. As for his stats, he is I can't remember his player type exactly, but he's looking pretty decent. His stats are quite good all across the board. 75 jumping will help, and 77 marking. He's going to be so hard to get past in the middle of midfield. After that, we have Roth. another defensive midfielder, not as good as Gruner, but he's decent. He could be a half-decent backup option, perhaps. Again, kind of average stats there. They're not looking too good at the moment, but yeah, he's going to grow, so not too worried about that. Then we have Schneider in the centre of midfield. I loaned this guy out to get him more game time, and he's grown a couple of points, rated 53. We don't know what his potential is yet, but I'm sure it's going to be pretty good. And 73 curve, 66 free kick accuracy. Hopefully as that grows, he's going to score plenty of goals from us from dead ball situations. Another central midfielder is Leonard Wolf, 18 years old, rated 52. Doesn't look that amazing, but he has grown 5 points. He's been one of the best growers in the team. He's really shot up this season, so hopefully that will continue next season. He's also got a 4-star weak foot, which is nice to see, and 77 stamina. That's pretty important for a central midfielder. He's going to be running around a lot, winning back the ball, and you don't want to stop, so that's perfect for that. Third central midfielder, I've only just promoted this guy, found him in Austria. Raphael Zauner doesn't look great at 46 overall, but he's only just been promoted and already he's grown 2 points, so I'm hoping that that continues and he'll grow a bit more. He's 6'3" as well, so hopefully he'll be a good stopper in the middle of midfield. Then on the left we have Nicholas Hoffman, rated 57 at 16 years old. That's not a bad overall for his age. He's still very, very young. 4-star skill moves. Don't get too excited. I'm not very good at skill moves, I'm afraid, but maybe this is the time to learn so I can use this guy a bit more. Fairly average stats so far, but as you can see across the board there, he's grown quite a lot, so hopefully as with the others that will continue into the future. We then have an attacking midfielder, Daniel Neumann, rated 63 at 16. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a status. It just says at the club since 2018, so that means his potential is below 80, despite having a really, really good overall for his age. Hopefully it's in the high 70s, so it won't be too much of a problem. He's got a 4-star weak foot as well, so that should be quite useful, and some half-decent physicals in the mix as well, and good curve, ball control and dribbling as well. So we'll see how he does. Hopefully he grows quite well, but I guess we'll have to see. Then we have Moritz Zauner. I'm guessing that this is the brother of Raphael Zauner, both from Austria. This guy is rated 57 at 16 years old, centre forward / striker, so we actually have a decent attacker for the future. And if I get back to the right screen, he was physically strong, so he's got 77 strength, 79 jumping, 75 stamina. That's going to be really, really useful, I think, in attack, so we'll have to see how he turns out, but I'm pretty excited for him. Then we have Tim Schmitz. Loaned this guy out to get him more game time. He's grown 4 points, which is pretty good growth for one season. 4-star weak foot on the wing as well, and 75 sprint speed, 73 acceleration. Hopefully he grows to be quite rapid. He's got 68 finishing plus 10, so he could be quite a good attacking option going forward. And the final youth player that I promoted is Bjorn Dietrich, age 16, 59 overall, so 1 more point of growth, and then we'll find out if he has a potential. So looking forward to seeing how he does there. 5-star skill moves on the wing. If this isn't an indication that I need to learn how to do skill moves properly, I don't know what is, so he will be really fun to use if I can master that. 81 acceleration as well, so performing a trick, bursting off with that acceleration is going to be really, really good. So that's a look at our promoted youth players. Let's have a look at who we've got in the academy. We've still got a few more players in there. Raphael Würzberger, we've got another Würzberger in the team, so it's like this is his brother. 57 overall at 15 years old. That's really, really good for his age. He is physically strong as well, with potential 77 to 91. Quick look at his stats: 75 sprint speed, 75 strength, 71 jumping. Going to be very good at the back there. So really looking forward to him growing a bit more in age and being ready to be promoted. And then we have Bjorn Schulze, 15 years old at 52 overall, a playmaker at attacking midfield with 74 to 80 potential. Probably going to be high 70s for his potential, so he may not have a status, but that's still going to be really useful in the team, I think. Considering we're in the 3rd division, he should be pretty good as well. So that is our youth academy, the players we've still got left to promote. And let's have a quick look now at, as well as that, the board expectations, because as you can see we've got 92 rating above target. We've really nailed some of these achievements, some of these objectives. So Youth Academy objectives, critical as we said before, assign 2 players to the defender position. Well, we did that, we got a couple of players. We didn't manage to do the long-term objective. I was just signing players, promoting them when they were ready. So with the 15-year-old players that aren't ready to be promoted yet, probably keep them in the academy for a bit longer, grow their stats by 10 points, then promote them, play them in 20 games. So as well as that, we've only just promoted the players. They haven't really had much time to play matches as well, so we'll keep track of that, see how we do in the next season. Brand exposure, nailed that one, 50% of matches sold out, did that one very comfortably. Content of success, as we said before, no objectives. Domestic success was high, so we were told that we had to finish mid-table. Well, obviously we completely smashed that one. We finished in 3rd place, almost got promoted, so that's way better than the board were expecting. And within 2 seasons, fight for promotion. Well, we've already done that one, so board very happy with that one. And financial, it says we haven't done this one, but this one usually waits until the end of the season to tick over, so we'll have to see. Hopefully right at the end of the season it will give us that one. So yeah, very good board objectives, most of them achieved. We did really well there. So that's it for the first season with 1860 München. Now I want to do something which I've seen a couple of people do. FIFA CM Tips on Twitter, really great account, make sure you give him a follow. Saw him do this with his own career mode, and I've seen a couple of other people do it too. Basically setting up some forfeits, so if I don't achieve certain goals, if I don't promote a certain number of youth players, if I don't get a certain player to score X amount of goals, that sort of thing, I have to do something like sell my best player or play my reserve team in the next game, that kind of stuff. So if you've got any ideas for what you want me to do for forfeits, let me know in the comments. Tell me on Facebook or Twitter, the links will be in the description as well. So I want to hear your ideas for that, because that could be a really sort of cool way to liven up the career mode, give me some new challenges, that sort of thing. So make sure you tell me that. As well as that, if there's anything else you want me to do in this career mode, if there's any thoughts you've got on the first episode, anything like that, I'm always looking to improve, so make sure you tell me in the comments below. So thank you for watching. There should be another episode coming out soon, so keep your eyes peeled. Make sure you give me a follow on Twitter and Facebook, and yeah, thanks for watching.